Welcome to Creature Guy Live. For those of you that don't know, my name is Ethan. We're going to be getting into some prehistoric to current animal news from around the world and take a look into some interesting animal videos. And by the way, happy International Eastern Gray Kangaroo Day, as well as American Manatee. We have also added that as well. And Suchomimus tenerensis, or a species of Spinosaur from early Cretaceous, Niger, Africa Day. So let's start off with from Sci News. Atopodentatus unicus, bizarre new fossil reptile discovered in China. Paleontologists led by Dr. Chao Chun Wu from Canadian Museum of Nature say they have
Woohoo!
discovered a new genus and species of reptile that lived in what is now China during the Middle Triassic, between 247 and 242 million years ago. Okay, so this is also a bit of an earlier article, but I don't pay attention too much to these specific types of marine reptiles. Um, Partially with how kind of hideous some might say they're adorable, but
What am I looking at?
yeah, it's his upper jaw.
Is it split?
What are you talking about? Like with
Here.
no, it's I believe it's connected. I don't know. We'd have to take a closer look.
Those are teeth.
Oh, you're talking about right here. I was thinking you meant like both the upper and bottom jaw, not just distinctly right here. Yeah, this is very rare in reptiles in general. So, Dr. Chao Chun Wu and his colleagues named the new prehistoric creature Atopendatus unicus and suggest it belonged to a group of reptiles called the Sauropterygians. Generic name is derived from the Latin autopo for the peculiar dentition and dentatus for teeth. The specific name is derived from the Latin unicus for its unique morphology. The scientists said in a paper published in the journal Naturwissenschaften, Autopendatus unicus measured about 3 meters long and or 10 feet. Wow, a lot of 10-footers that popped up back in the early 2010s, which I guess is not surprising. I mean, there are a wide range of different species of reptile at about that length, even today. Okay, well, smaller extent today. And had a long body, short neck, and special adaptations for a fully aquatic or semi aquatic lifestyle. Well, there's a difference. I mean, looking at the animal, though, unless it's changed in certain reconstructions, it's very possible this might have been somewhat semi aquatic, since it does have very distinct appendages on its feet, despite being webbed, almost like certain otter feet of today. So it's nearly complete skeleton and the left lateral side of the skull were collected from the middle Triassic of Guanling Formation near Daozai Village, Yunnan, China. A lot of things coming out of Yunnan, China from different parts of the Mesozoic era or the time of the dinosaurs. The most distinguishing characteristic of Atopodentatus unicus is its bizarre mouth. I thought I was looking at a species of ornithopod for a second. That's why it's central to know the distinctive anatomy of different species, different groups of dinosaurs, and as well different families and orders of marine reptile. Because this was just reminding me of like a dryosaur and osneliosaur to an extent, and also looking at the front here, and then the picture, it's not even closely related.
Katie the Bear and Kick just said, hello and happy Manatee Day.
Yes, don't forget to munch those seagrasses. So, yeah, look at all of those distinct tooth patterns. That's interesting. It's almost like this was a bit of a baleen sort of a tooth structure, yet looking at the front jaw, at least by the painting, it seemed to be quite distinct conical teeth. So, on each side of the mouth, the reptile had about 35 small needle like teeth in the front of the upper jaw, about 140 small needle like teeth in the rest of the upper jaw, at least 100 in the horizontal portion, and around 35 in the vertical portion. Horizontal. Not exactly sure. I mean, it might be referring to the bottom jaw with the 100. Let's see. Oh, never mind. It's probably the upper part. And more than 190 teeth in the lower jaw, about 100 in the horizontal portion, and 90 in the shovel-headed anterior end. The teeth were covered by a layer of enamel. Yeah, that makes sense. According to Dr. Wu's team, Atopentatus unicus may have been
Woohoo.
adapted. Yeah, I wonder if in battle people would get confused if somebody said woohoo. Uh, Over in Asia. Anyway, may have been adapted to a way of bottom filter feeding in water. It is obvious that such delicate teeth are not strong enough to catch prey, but were probably used as a barrier to filter microorganisms or benthic invertebrates such as sea worms. They were collected by the specialized jaws, which may have functioned as a shovel or push dozer and a grasper or scratcher. Scratcher. Oh, okay. I guess I could see that. I was thinking of the two marine reptiles scratching each other, and then it didn't hit me of different, even certain marine mammals today, like dolphins, somewhat scratching themselves. Okay, well, this definitely is interesting. Forgot what you mentioned the family that this specific individual belongs to. It's a Ceroptergian. Okay, this lineage of marine reptiles. All right, well, let's head over to the first video. What do we have here? It's a coyote in one of those underpasses, I believe. Oh, the badger. By the way, the whole coyote badger symbiotic relationship doesn't always occur. You have had instances where coyotes have preyed on badgers, and specifically the American badger.
It's a weird relationship, though, especially considering he's leading him.
Yeah, I really wonder what's going on here.
Hope he's not leading him to his death.
Yeah, that's big question. So, from Columbia1.com, heading back forward in time, Columbia identifies a new genus of deer. Well, that's incredible. That's not just a species, that's a whole different genus. So, let's see. And Dinosaurus rufinus, a lineage unique in the world. Well, it almost looks like a little goat or a relative of the chamois goat over in southern Europe. So let's see. In Colombia, a new genus. Okay, we said that. Colombia's biodiversity has once again taken center stage on the global scientific map. Researchers have identified a new genus of deer in the country, named Andinocervus rufinus, a discovery that redefines current knowledge of South American cervids or deer and underscores the importance of the northern Andes as a hotspot of biological diversity. Yeah, the Andes is quite an immense ecosystem over in different parts of Peru, even Colombia, and down to Chile, parts of Argentina, huge part of Western South America. The discovery was led by the Humboldt Institute in collaboration with international scientists and was based on genetic analyses that revealed this species belongs to a completely independent lineage. For decades, this animal was known as Mazama rufina. So, this is, I guess, the specific genus and species that it was referred to. However, recent studies show that it does not share a close evolutionary origin with other deer in the genus Mazama, prompting researchers to propose a creation of a new taxonomic genus, an uncommon development in the study of large mammals in South America. Yeah, especially these days. Maybe in the 1800s or 1700s, it was quite common, but today this is very, very interesting. So, Andinocervus rufinus, also known as the Paramo red deer. Now, this animal, I believe, is not closely related to the red deer of Europe. I mean, instead, Rocky Mountain elk are more closely related to the red deer of Europe. So, inhabits high mountain ecosystems between 1,000 and 3,700 meters above sea level, or what, approaching 10,000 feet. Primarily in montane forests and Andean paramos, its distribution spans Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, and Venezuela, although Colombia plays a key role by hosting representative populations and serving as a central area for its study. In Colombia, this deer has been recorded in areas such as Murillo, Tolima, and other sectors of the Andean range, where it often goes unnoticed due to its elusive behavior and low population density. The species is currently classified as vulnerable, facing threats such as deforestation, agriculture and livestock expansion, poaching. Okay. So, according to scientists, recognizing it as a distinct genus is not merely a change in name. It means understanding that it is a more restricted and evolutionary unique population, requiring more specific and urgent conservation strategies. With the creation of the genus Dinosaur, Colombia now recognizes 5 species of deer grouped into 3 genera, positioning the country as one of the most diverse in cervids in South America. Yeah, I think many forget that or don't know that Colombia has deer, especially like the white-tailed deer in the region that you find different subspecies, but same species that you find in North America. So the genus Odocoelus is represented by the white-tailed deer, Odocoelus virginianus, widely distributed across the eastern plains, Caribbean dry forests, and lower Andean regions. It's just a white-tail, probably somewhere in could be like central Texas or maybe some part of Mexico. He's definitely getting supplemental feed.
Why would they show that?
I think it's interesting. I think she's holding a shed of one in the profile picture. Oh, he's definitely shed his antlers too. Oh, uh, huh.
Run, run. Wait, wait. What I forget? Those antlers are just what? What is wrong with those?
I think he might be an older deer too, but he's definitely on like supplemental feed. So supplemental like sodium, calcium, phosphorus. Meanwhile, the genus Mazma includes species such as the red brocket deer, Mazma americana, native to the humid rainforests of the Amazon and Choco, the gray brocket or brown corzuela, Mazama guazurubira, which inhabits open areas and dry forests in eastern Colombia, and the paramo deer, Mazama berseni, found in Andean regions of Colombia and Venezuela. See, where's there's that's just another whitetail. It's definitely smaller. He might be older too. Those are weirdly positioned antlers. The most significant development is the inclusion of Andinocervus rufinus as a sole representative of its genus, officially recognized in 2026. And it's done. Okay.
Okay, that's a weird article.
All right. That was nice. Let's head over to next video. So, about 7 months of footage, totaling more than 2 hours, over in Voyager National Park, which is just west of the Superior National Forest over in northern Minnesota.
Wait, I put up a 2-hour video?
No. Oh, but it is longer though. Let's see what happens for first little bit. Okay. Oh yeah, that deer's on the same trail. I'm guessing it's a younger one.
I smell a fox.
His antlers aren't that large, and they seem evenly aligned. It's not like some of these older bucks that their antlers appear smaller, and so many might mistake them for just a younger individual, but they're completely out of proportion, and the angles don't really match. And some might blame it on malnutrition, which can sometimes be the case.
Are we getting the same deer walking back and forth?
Um,
Well, this one's different.
well,
This
yeah,
one's
his
bigger.
antlers are larger.
Yeah, I'm watching the 10 seconds earlier at the same time, and it was a different deer.
He still seems to have a very thick neck, so I wonder if still
And
during
here
the
we go
rut.
again.
There has to be during the rut still.
Oh,
Oh, it's a fisher. So that looked like it might have been the same deer. And the red fox, it must be his territory too.
that's the same
That's
one.
a younger one.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's got tiny antlers. There's a wolf. There's a doe.
That was funny. He sped it up for that.
Might still be the rut. He doesn't exactly have a thin neck.
And there they go.
I think it was a donor fawn. Oh, there's a couple of wolves. Might be the
Here or
pair.
near.
I think that was a doe. Yep,
Woohoo!
they're fawn.
Oop.
Oh. Well,
Wait.
except there didn't seem to be snow in the last one, but I don't think we could tell. Hmm.
Do I smell food?
Definitely not really any food over here for the deer. It's all just young trees and leaves, which you can have it where ticks can take advantage of that.
Run! No.
There's pine marten.
What's he looking for, though?
Probably squirrels, maybe voles. Same thing for the fisher. Maybe birds too. Occasionally crustaceans. Oh, wolf's back. Whoa. That one's a little lighter, especially for this region.
That one's got a brown head.
Hmm. Wonder if that's a female.
What am I looking for? I smell something. There. Yep. I think they need to raise that camera a little. Or maybe somebody came over and messed with it and pushed it down.
Whoa. Oh, it's a little stoat. And the fisher's back. It's stoat. It's just dwarfed by everybody. Whoa. Okay, there's a couple of pine martens here. Oh, yeah, he's. Yeah. I was wondering, like, wait a second.
Was he dancing?
Probably not.
Run, everybody.
Yeah, definitely not. This is the most deranged, or one of the most deranged dances on earth. If that's the case.
He was twerking.
You're not an African mongoose. Specifically a yellow-throated mongoose.
Eh, We're not doing this.
Okay, well, let's head over to the next article.
Okay.
Okay, so from News, Dinoglarix messini, new giant fossil hedgehog from Italy. Okay, I'm not too familiar with this individual. Paleontologists have described a new species of giant spineless hedgehog that lived in what is today the Gargano Peninsula of Italy during the late Miocene, about 10 to 7 million years ago. Now, this is quite a sight to behold. What happened to the hedgehog? I mean, it
That
just
faces. That mouth is huge.
it decided to what? Uh just to feed on earthworms and develop spikes, but gave up on such a magnificent head. From the early Oligocene to the late Miocene, the Gargano Peninsula was an island home to many endemic, now extinct animals. Some of them were subject to insular gigantism, a phenomenon where small animals that live on isolated islands tend to grow larger because of a lack of competition and predators. Okay, so uh
What?
most most island or okay, maybe not all of them, but I'd say where, like, especially if you're looking at the time of the dinosaurs and towards the end of the Cretaceous, during the Mesozoic era, when it comes to island dinosaurs, actually even the Jurassic, you still had predators on the island as well, and you had many species of herbivores actually competing with each other. So I don't believe that would be the reason for gigantism, even in on islands. The newly discovered fossil giant named Dinoglarix messini and the five previously known species of the genus Dinoglarix were hairy, rat like relatives of modern hedgehogs and belong to the subfamily of gymnors or moon rats. According to a paper published in the journal Geobius, Dinoglarix messini is the smallest and oldest member of the genus ever found. The largest Dinoglarix species, Dinoglarix koenigswaldi, was around 2 feet or 60 centimeters long and had jaws 8 inches or 20 centimeters long. Whoa. Oh, well, I mean, okay. That is a that's a decent length. Actually, that's huge for a 2 foot animal. I would think it would be a bit longer compared to its body size compared to what's showing here in the picture. Though it does have doesn't really have a large tail. So Dinoglarix messini presents more affinities in size and proportions to the previous smallest species, Dinoglarix frudenthalii and Dinoglarix minor. Dr. Boris Valier from the Università degli Studi di Torino and his co-authors wrote in the paper, the suit of characters testify that Dinoglarix messini is an archaic form on the evolutionary trend toward the most derived representatives of the genus. Dinoglarix messini was about 1.5 the size of the common hedgehog, um, Erinaceus europus, around 1 to 1.5 feet or 30 to 45 centimeters long. These were incredible hedgehogs. Even Sonic must give way. So we have Dinoglarix messini, Prehistoric socialist, and Dinoglarix koenigswaldi. I have not reviewed my prehistoric hedgehogs. Who is this? Dinoglarix koenigswaldi. Wow. I've got to take a look at him. I mean, I guess maybe a little depth for all three. This little tiny guy. Let's see. The animal likely had an herbivorous diet with probable occasional feeding on invertebrates and small vertebrates. Dinoglarix messini is named in honor of Dr. Federico Messini, who was involved in the first Italian collecting campaign in Gargano and continues to work on Microtia faunas. I think it was supposed to be Dr. Federico Maccini. Anyway, this is this is quite astounding. Wow, these hedgehogs were amazing. So let's head to the next video. This is another one. I just wondered like if it was a new. Oh, okay, yeah. Here's a fisher. Hmm. Wait a second. I recognize this. Unless this is a different footage from the same pathway.
That's probably what it is.
I remember this distinct pathway from there were different moose that passed and the red fox I think was also making use of it too. Not just walking through. I'm not sure if I remember the raccoons.
I do not.
Whoa, there was something off with his fur. So we've got a collared wolf. The raccoon on its back, I think. You see that? Oh,
He's
no, he's
shedding.
just shedding. That was freaky for a second. That might be a male. Might be a
It
female.
looks so happy.
I think it's the same one.
No, it's not.
I remember the moose wandering through.
But those raccoons were not in it.
I remember the fat bear.
I think you're just starting to think 'cause we're seeing so many trail cams that he didn't even move it. Yeah, I definitely don't remember this.
Oh, okay. So something did pop up with specifically the wolves in this area. The wolves over in Voyagers National Park,
I don't.
apparently feed on beavers quite often. In fact, there are hundreds of cases of wolves ambushing beavers at their dams over in the different ponds in the protected area. So apparently, beavers are on the wolf's menu. Now, otters are extremely rare, like from I think at least like 123 scats, only a handful, and I mean like somewhere between 4 to 8, actually contain otter.
Is that because they're so dangerous?
It could be. Maybe it's simply because they don't really like the taste of otters, possibly. Um, otters are quite feisty. Yeah, I remember this. So, let's see. What was another thing that occurred here? Hmm.
I've never liked this, so I don't think we saw it.
Maybe they combined it with a little bit of. It's one of those videos where they combined it with other footage. Okay, so let's see. Moving over to another part of the world from NPR.org. The Asian elephant population in Cambodia is more robust than previously thought. Well, that's good to hear. I don't recall the most recent population estimate with of Asian elephants over in Cambodia, but let's take a look. So this photo taken between 2020 to 2021, released by Fauna and Flora. Elephants roam at Prey Lang Wildlife Sanctuary in Pria Viera province in Cambodia. I think it's French. So, a genetic study of Asian elephants in northern Cambodia, published Thursday, reveals a larger and more robust population than previously thought, raising hopes the endangered species could slowly recover. Researchers from the Fauna and Flora Conservation Group collected samples from elephant dung in Cambodia's northern plains and extracted DNA. From the DNA, they were able to identify individual elephants, estimate population size, and determine the sex of the animals and the overall genetic diversity of the population. From their work, they estimated that there are 51 elephants in the Prelang, Bria, Roka, and Chaib wildlife sanctuaries with greater genetic diversity, a critical, oh, okay, that's good to hear, a critical factor for long-term viability. The researchers said then in two other areas of the country in which they live. So, with sufficient suitable habitat remaining in the region, the population has the potential to grow if properly protected. In this photo, taken between 2020 to 2021 and released by Fauna and Flora, researcher from the group collects samples from elephant dung at Prelang Wildlife Sanctuary. Wow, that's a massive heap. So, yeah, he's probably been munching on grasses. I'm guessing by what we're seeing here. Seems to be some seeds too. Probably not from the grasses, maybe from another type of plant. So overall, some 400 to 600 Asian elephants are believed to remain living in the wild in Cambodia. That's not very many. Researchers said the study's findings underscore the potential of the northern area studied to become a national stronghold for them, contributing to Cambodia's biodiversity conservation goals. Habitat degradation, especially when it leads to fragmentation, continues to be a serious concern. Pablo Sinovas. That was unexpected. Person in Cambodia. Wait a second. Director of Fauna and Flora in Cambodia. Yeah, named Pablo. Told the Associated Press. In fact, I'm not even sure Sinovas is an Asian name. Very Spanish. This study provides a robust basis on which to base conservation efforts and landscape management. The study is supported by USAID funds and Britain's People's Postcode Lottery. Huh? The weirdest people. Um, Sometimes the weirdest groups are funding conservation organizations. I'm not exactly complaining, partially because it's well about wild elephants and just wild elephants. The okay was conducted in collaboration with the Cambodian Environment Ministry. The genetic testing was done at the Royal University of Phnom Penh with technical support from the Royal Zoological Society of Scotland. The research was carried out in the 2020-2021 dry season, but Sinovas said since elephants reproduce slowly, it is not thought that the population size would have changed significantly since then. Hey, here's another picture in this photo. taken between 2020 to 2021 and released by Fauna and Flora. Elephants are seen at Prairie Lang Wildlife Sanctuary.
So someone doesn't know when their photo was taken.
Yeah, not specifically. That's odd. Researchers want to replicate the study elsewhere in Cambodia and in other countries, such as neighboring Vietnam, where the Asian elephants live in fragmented populations. We were very pleasantly surprised by the results of the project, said Alex Ball, conservation manager for the Royal Zoological Society of Scotland. So, we now hope to expand this methodology across Cambodia and beyond, helping to build a clearer picture of Asian elephant numbers, which will inform how best we can work to reverse the decline of these spectacular animals. I was trying to end that with the Scottish ting, but I guess it didn't work. All right.
I don't think
Well,
that's what that was.
sounded like a drunk Irish guy.
Sounded like Schwarzenegger.
Um. Okay. Whoops. Where are we? No idea. All right, let's take a look. Oh, it's a cougar messing with a. Is he okay? Trail camera in some part of like Argentina. What's going on? He seems very concerned.
Just I kept watching it. I was like I couldn't stop looking at him. Okay. I'll drop him. Wait, I didn't pause him. Hold on.
He's like, I'm seeing things. Okay, from Sign News. Panthera blythi, oldest big cat fossil found in Tibet. A well preserved 6 to 4 million year old skull of a previously unknown species of prehistoric snow leopard from Tibet is the oldest big cat fossil ever found. Oh, according to paleontologists from China, Canada, and the United States. Okay, it's also a bit of an earlier article, but I have not gone over this. So, this find suggests that big cats have a deeper evolutionary origin than previously suspected. Dr. Jack Tsang from the American Museum of Natural History, New York. Is it just me, or is every person coming from the American Museum of Natural History, outside of occasionally Mark Norell, if he's still the director of paleontology there, have a Chinese last name? Who is the lead author of a paper reporting the discovery in the Proceedings of the Royal Society B Biological Sciences. DNA evidence suggested that the Pantherinae subfamily, including lions, jaguars, tigers, leopards, snow leopards, and clouded leopards, so-called big cats. What? So-called? They are big cats. Diverged from their nearest evolutionary cousins, felinae, which includes cougars, lynxes, and domestic cats, about 6.37 million years ago.
Yeah, if they're not considered big cats, what's a big cat? Garfield?
Wait a second. Cougars are big cats. All of these are, well, okay. Maybe depending on the lynx species, he might not be, but I don't know. Might stick him on there. Maybe it's just the bobcat that's not really represented in that region. Basically, you're like the size of a Pallas cat or the Asian fishing cat or the flat-headed cat. Then yeah, you're not necessarily a big cat because you only weigh like 8 pounds.
I don't know. That one fishing cat looked like he probably weighed 20.
Yeah, Pallas's cats around that size too, or a bit bigger. However, the oldest fossils of big cats previously found were 3.6 million year old tooth fragments uncovered at Laitoli in Tanzania by Mary Leakey in the 1970s.
Maybe she's just leaky.
Yep. The newly found skull fossil, I was thinking of a car when you said that. The newly found skull fossil is important because it partially fills the gap. Dr. Sang's team unearthed it in 2010 while scouting in the remote border region between Pakistan and China, an area that takes a bumpy 7-day car ride to reach from Beijing. I just find it funny they're using the capital. There's like several other cities and towns over in China, but okay. Yeah, it's quite something. So there's the upper skull. I mean, that's decent for if it was a brand new species. Well, I mean, a brand new discovery. This was, yeah, 2010. That's pretty good. Scientists found more than 100 bones that were likely deposited by a river eroding out of a cliff. There, below the antelope limbs and jaws, was the crushed but largely complete skull of a big cat. Wow. So there were antelope in the area. Must have been like a kill site. For the past 3 years, Dr. Seng and his colleagues have used both anatomical and DNA data to determine that the skull does, in fact, represent a new species named Panthera blythi. The species name Blythi honors Blythe, the snow leopard loving daughter of Paul and Heather Haga, who are avid supporters of the Natural History Museum of Los Angeles County. Um, uh,
Why does that sound like they hug a lot?
wait a second. Oh, okay. Yeah, New York, and then that's Los Angeles County. Okay, so we are seeing connections with different um supporters of different large museums. It's just kind of fun. Using magnetostratigraphy, the paleontologists were able to estimate the age of the Panthera blythi skull at between 4.1 and 5.95 million years old. The discovery not only challenges previous suppositions about the evolution of big cats, it also helps place that evolution in a geographical context. Okay. So this is probably going to be a bit confusing to most people, but basically you have it where the sea. Hold on a second. Is this referring to today?
It's definitely showing it as if today.
Well, maybe this is late Pleistocene because over here, so we have Panthera atrox. The yellow dots with the little red dot in the middle, which is not the same as what's showing on the what label map. That's referring to the American lion. Whoa, one down here. I'd heard of the American lion being spotted or, well, discovered over in South America when it comes to its fossils. So that is interesting. And then Panthera spilea. Okay, he's going to be over in Eurasia, Northern Africa, and a little bit over in Alaska. Let's see, Panthera paleosinensis. You're over here. I'm guessing. No, that wasn't. Was that the creature? Oh, no, that's not him. I mean, that is him, but I was looking for Panthera blythi. There he is, right on the northern tip of India. He's that star. All right, let's head back. So, Panthera blythi was found in a region that overlaps the majority of current big cat habitats and suggests that the group evolved in Central Asia and spread outward. In addition, recent studies suggested that the genus Panthera did not split from genus Neophilus, clouded leopards, until 3.72 million years ago, which the new find disproves. Interesting. This was back then, too. Well, this was really good to see. Let's head over to the next video. Okay, this I'm not familiar with. I'm guessing somewhere in the eastern United States. Whoa. Oh, come on, pal. He had to have the stumbled footing. Wait a second. Oh, this was way back. I think it was like late 2010s this came out. I remember this video. I think it was somewhere in like Virginia that this occurred. So, I mean, you've got at least 12 to 15,000 black bears over in Virginia.
Oh, it's so pixelated.
Could be. Yeah. It's like 2018 maybe. So yeah, coyote, what do we have? A stoat or something? There's a porcupine. I think this was Virginia. Might have been, maybe it was Pennsylvania. Maybe that's where it
Oh
was.
God, even him.
Was that a raven? I think so. Oh, a couple. These are not mallard ducks. Oh gosh, not teal. It's not hitting me what it is. I think it's teal. Might be the same bear. Hmm.
Pause. Pause.
Okay, so from iflscience.com, even the guts of extremely rare river dolphins are chock full of microplastic pollution. Unsurprisingly, it lives in one of the most polluted rivers on the planet. I wonder where this is going to occur.
Why are they cutting up a river dolphin?
Oh, probably already dead, and they were just doing a autopsy. So, South Asian river dolphins are now divided into two species: the Ganges river dolphin, the Indus river dolphin. I don't think that's, well, maybe it's new in like the past few years, but I am familiar with that. Even one of the world's rarest freshwater dolphins is not safe from the scourge of plastic pollution. For the first time, researchers have discovered microplastics inside the stomachs of endangered Indus River dolphins. The Indus River dolphin, Platanista minor, is a freshwater species found mainly in Pakistan with a small population in India, wonderfully adapted to the river's muddy and murky
Ugh.
waters. Well, I mean, it's kind of somewhat natural when it's just referring to muddy and murky. If you take out the, um,
Indian water?
yeah, Indian pollution. These long-snouted dolphins have largely lost the use of their eyes,
Y yeah.
not due to the pollution. This was beforehand, and are considered to be functionally blind. Once common in the region's river system, they're now listed as endangered under the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species. Their biggest threats have long been dams that choke the rivers and cut populations into isolated groups, but pollution has emerged as another and perhaps equally insidious danger. The Indus is among the most polluted rivers in the world, draining wastewater and chemicals from countless factories, farms, and human settlements along its banks. I believe it's the one where it's like foaming and it's regarded as sacred to bathe in. Yeah. Anyway,
I don't know why you would bathe
even
in that.
even the roaches steer clear of it. And I don't know. I don't know about the. Oh, you know what? Maybe the rats, like the black rat, which is native to India, admires it. it's it's Remy in his true form.
Oh, that's terrible. Poor
in,
Remy.
in recent years, it has also ranked second in a list of 10 rivers responsible for nearly 90% of the plastic that ultimately flows into the ocean. Huh? I don't know about that, but anyway, um, in this new study, an international team of scientists performed necropsies on five Indus river dolphins that became stranded between 2019 and 2022. In every single individual, they detected hundreds of microplastic particles and fibers in the gastrointestinal tract. Quantity of microplastics was especially alarming, the study notes. Microplastics were found in all four gut chambers of each dolphin, with the number of pieces ranging from 184 to 429, an average of 286. Now I'm really wondering if they went blind due to this pollution. While microplastics have been found in the bodies of many marine mammals before, the concentrations reported in this study, well, okay, what's funny is I think when most people think of microplastics and marine animals or aquatic animals, is they think of like a turtle being strangled by one, a whale is caught up in a net, a seal pup or sea lion pup, even the adults it can occur to, but it's usually more common with the youngsters. Is being somewhat choked, but this is bad too. It's just different. The concentrations reported in this study ranked the highest ever recorded across cetacean or whale species. The most abundant form of plastic was polyethylene terephthalate, followed by polyphenylene sulfide, polyester, polyvinyl chloride, polyurethane, and polyethylene. These plastics largely originate from textiles, packaging, wastewater, fishing gear, and agricultural runoff. There they are. Sheesh. Okay, so these were in the tracks of the Indus River dolphin. The researchers also noted that similar microplastics were detected in the fish they ate, suggesting the pollutants are working their way up the food chain through the food they consume. This raises questions about the broader health of the river ecosystem. How is there even a question? It's just filth, as well as human communities that rely on its fish. You you're questioning that? While the exact health impacts on the rare dolphins are not yet clear, microplastics are known to cause digestive issues,
I would think other things in that water are causing digestive issues also.
oxidative stress, immune suppression, and reproductive harm in other animals. Yeah, not surprising for a species already battling shrinking habitat, dwindling numbers. The added burden is the last thing they need. Wow. Didn't even show. Wait, did it show a picture of a dolphin? Yeah, it did. Gosh, there he is.
He's trying to get his head above water.
Yeah.
He's like, this stuff stinks.
I like how they blurred out the boat in the backdrop.
Oh, that's just because they focused in on the dolphin.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's true. Okay, well, that was shocking. Well, at the same time, not, but an adorable dolphin. Okay, well, we have a red fox here. March 5th, 2024. Probably looking for. What is he going after? Hmm.
He's just sniffing. He's like, oh, bunny.
Oh, that wasn't hitting me. Yeah, since considering they do make burrows.
Oh, it didn't even hit me until you just said that it was down there. That's it.
Okay, so from news.mongabay.com, world's smallest possum may live beyond its known range in Australia. So the smallest possum is the pygmy possum over in Australia, which weighs about 10 grams or 0.35 ounces. And then the next smallest, I believe, is the honey possum, which gets to about 11 grams or 0.39 ounces. Except that individual exclusively feeds on honey. Whereas the pygmy possum, also that individual, the honey possum, is over in Western Australia and southwestern Australia. The pygmy possums over in southeastern Australia, so like Victoria, parts of, I believe, New South Wales. Oh no, parts of Victoria and Tasmania, island Tasmania, and it eats insects and bits of nectar. Did I say the honey possum eats honey, or did I say it ate pollen or nectar?
I don't remember.
Okay, well, eats the honey possum eats nectar. So, new evidence of the world's smallest possum has emerged hundreds of kilometers from where it's known to occur in southern Australia, a finding that potentially extends the range of this locally threatened species. Pygmy possums are a group of tiny, mouse sized marsupials that live in open woodlands, heathlands, and scrub. They feed on nectar, pollen, and insects and play a crucial ecological role as pollinators. York Peninsula in the state of Australia is the traditional land of the Narunga people, was known habitat for the western pygmy possum, Cercartetus consinus. Now, a new study published in the journal Australian Zoologist suggests the rare and cryptic little pygmy possum, Cercartetus lepidus, may live there too. Oh, right. Now, there are other pygmy possums. So, researchers revisited photographic data from wildlife surveys conducted between 2004 and 2011 in Dalba Garanda Innes National Park, an important remnant patch of native vegetation at the tip of the peninsula. Among observations of more than 250 pygmy possums. Wow. Two photographed in 2006 stood out. These possums were smaller with distinctive gray belly fur. They were initially labeled as juvenile western pygmy possums because there was no existing records of other pygmy possum species in the area. The closest known population of little pygmy possums is on Kangaroo Island, which has been isolated from the York Peninsula for 10,000 years. A lot of islands became isolated at the end of the Ice Age or Pleistocene epoch, when beforehand they were connected. However, the researchers hypothesized that the two observations were misidentified. So they compared the photos with specimens kept at the South Australian Museum. They concluded that these were indeed little pygmy possums. About 19 of 24 ground dwelling mammals have become extinct on the York Peninsula. Study first author Sophie Petit from Adelaide University told Mongabay by email, it's a big deal to find a new species that may have been there all along. Pat Hodgins, a fauna ecologist with the Australian Wildlife Conservancy who wasn't involved in the study, agreed the photograph in the paper could be that of a little pygmy possum. It would be exciting if that could be confirmed through further studies such as recaptures and DNA analysis. Confirmation of a new population would be welcome news for the species, which is sensitive to habitat fragmentation and also likely vulnerable to burnt vegetation from bushfires and prescribed burns. Native vegetation has been cleared from much of the York Peninsula. Only 13% remains. The authors are trepidatious because the current population status of little pygmy possums on the York Peninsula is known. Um, hmm. It's possible that this population has become locally extinct in the last 20 years, considering its rarity. But it would be wonderful to discover it has survived. Adopting a precautionary approach to land management until the species status is verified would be the best course of action. Oh, that's it. Huh. Well, hmm. Yeah, we need more pygmy possums. So, let's head over to the next article, the final article. Okay. So, from the ColoradoSun.com, wild bison crossing into Colorado from Utah gain protection under new law. Um, huh. I I guess I'm a bit confused. Colorado previously treated bison who reintroduced themselves to the state as livestock, leading to over a dozen killed in a decade. Well, I mean, well, considering if this is the population of bison I'm thinking of, that's actually quite a few for the population. There's only like maybe 400 or so.
You have a beard?
That's just his bell. So let's see. A white bison roams the Badger Basin State Wildlife Area in 2022 near Hartselle. 1 out of 10 million bison are born with white fur. No, they're more common. They're more common than that. American bison appear to have better PR agents than gray wolves, while Coloradans? I thought it was Colorado. Continue to debate the wisdom of wolf reintroduction 5 years after a public authorization vote. Bison that reintroduced themselves to the state by walking across the border from Utah just got the backing of Colorado law. Before this year's legislative session, Colorado law treated bison like livestock, and people could shoot the hulking visitors from Utah without consequence. You know, it's interesting considering the amount of like dramatic, not necessarily, I think, protests, but just the constant push of like the whole, extinction of the bison, especially back in the 1800s. And yet, little did many people know that on the border of Utah and Colorado, based on what I'm guessing private land, you could shoot a bison that just walked over. That's funny. Um, because there are also, those pictures of supposedly people on the railroad back in the 1800s, early.
Shooting the bison.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, that's, I guess some things haven't really changed. I mean, there is a railroad. Wait a second. Could you have it where secretly, like, let's say they closed it from the public, but the people that, run the railroad could go over to that specific area and shoot a handful of bison? I don't know. I'm just wondering. Um, where were we? Okay. Before this year's legislative session, Colorado law treated bison like livestock. Okay. State wildlife officials told a Senate committee that's happened a dozen times over 10 years. Senate Bill 53, signed by Governor Jared Polis, switches the bison's designation to a big game animal and makes shooting them a poaching offense. The bill also directs Colorado Parks and Wildlife to set up a licensing and hunting protocol for bison, similar to other big game species such as bighorn sheep, mountain lions, or elk. There are no there are no immediate plans to create a hunting season, state wildlife officials said, given the small numbers involved, but the division wanted to be ready. Okay, yep, we got the Sierra Club here, and other animal defenders applauded the bill. Bet there's like the The Safari Club, I think, tends to be associated with hunting. Who? Oh gosh, there's other, but Sierra Nevada Club and others are not hitting me. Anyway, let's see. Um, okay. There are small herds for the public to see at Genesee Park along Interstate 70 west of Denver and the Rocky Mountain Arsenal Wildlife Refuge near DIA. Yeah, the Rocky Mountain Arsenal Wildlife Refuge is basically a part of Denver. I think it's adjacent to the airport. And I think you even had it a couple of times where bison actually um, escaped the refuge and ended up on airport land. So I think they had to delay flights because of the issue. Okay, let's see. Utah's northeastern Book Cliffs. These were the bison region hosts about 150 wild bison, and they sometimes wander in north of I 70. I 70 is a major highway over in Utah and Colorado. Might hit New York City. Let's see. In recent decades, efforts to restore bison on tribal and public lands have gained momentum for their role as keystone species and in tribal cultures. Oh, wait. Yeah. Okay. Anything else here? Okay. So here we have a herd. That's definitely a female. A lot of calves. Sheesh. Okay. It's that Terry Bison on Monday, November 4th, 2019. Boyd Meyer has three herds and calls this one the DNA group because he DNA tests them. Hmm. Right, you don't do it to all three. I mean, it is a bit of work. Okay, bison have been key to our survival. Oh, geez. Yeah. It gives, I think, spirit to everybody. Okay. Subherd, whose members occasionally thunder into Colorado, holds about 130 bison. So I guess another herd that I'm. This is not the Book Clips herd. Legislators, among the bill to the tribe's requests, also asked state officials whether they planned their own reestablishment of wild herds inside Colorado and whether the wandering Utah bison carry diseases that could devastate other wildlife or domestic herds. Holland said the Utah bison do not carry any threatening diseases. Oh, Colorado does not plan its own reintroduction or reestablishment. Holland added, but will instead watch how the newly protected incoming bison survive under their new status. So, fines for poaching wild bison under the new bill are as eye-opening as for other protected species, state officials noted. As with an illegal taking of a bald eagle, downing a bison could cost up to $100,000. Whoa! Jeez, what on earth? Okay, I'm okay with saying okay, don't shoot the herd, but jeez, this is insane. And I bet that includes if the animal attacks you and you happen just to be, walking around, that, you can't necessarily defend yourself. Okay, well, this is quite nuts. It kind of started off funny because there's just something funny about them shooting the bison. I don't want them in a low population. I do want more bison. And we've got somewhere between 500,000 to 600,000 bison throughout North America.
Yeah, but do we have how many deer?
Mule deer, I think somewhere around 3 to actually I got to double check on mule deer. But over what 800,000. And then whitetails, we've got around 25 to 30 million. So, think elk around a little more than a million, moose around a million. So if you're including like all of North America, see, am I missing anybody else? Oh, reindeer. I think you might be pushing somewhere around a million reindeer or caribou over in North America, mostly over in Canada and Alaska. So, thanks for joining. And from prehistoric to present, my name is Ethan. This is Creature Guy on Live Daily News. And happy, have a merry Eastern gray kangaroo and American sea cow and Suchomimus tenarensis day. And remember that. Oh, and we're also strumming on both Rumble, Kick, and YouTube.
We're strumming.
Strumming. Oh, streaming. And remember that nothing is better than all animals all the time.
We'll be back Wednesday at 10 a.m.